Do you have hair?
Manscaped.
Do you have hair down there?
Manscaped.
Do you care about your hair down there?
Sponsored by Manscaped.
Manscaped, the pioneers for your shaving needs for all parts of your body. With their Performance Package 4.0 kit, they offer the most bountiful bundle for your bodacious bod. With precision-engineered tools to make shaving quick, easy, and pain-free. An all-in-one grooming solution for all your parts. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and cordless. It literally can't get easier to keep up with your daily grooming. With skin-safe technology that makes sure your sensitive regions aren't in danger if you got butterfingers like I do. Rinse it clean and there's no mess in your bathroom. But for me, I forget to shave my nose hairs. It's actually really embarrassing. So I use the Weed Whacker to keep those bad boys in check. And it's got all the same skin-safe functionality as the lawnmower. Don't forget the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing deodorant to keep your family jewels from sweating and sticking.
Wait, that's a thing? Well, that's actually a good idea. Everyone with those has that problem. I like that, actually. Do you want to go from caveman to 007? Or maybe you just need a gift this holiday season. Then this is the package for your package. And when you buy the Performance Package, you get 2 free gifts. A Shed travel bag and the anti-chafing boxer briefs. This is more of a gift for your partner if you've been doing your squats.
Go to manscaped.com to get 20% off and free international shipping when you use code negative at checkout.
You gotta get your head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game.
You know, Disney Channel is weird. They are notorious for making low-budget movies that air on their network, and that eventually grow into such massive cult hits with such massive popularity, they earn a crap ton of money. They form our childhoods while destroying the lives of the stars of their shows. Just like the Founding Fathers wanted. 2006 was a wild year. We got Death Note, Ouran Host Club, Cars, The Devil Wears Prada, and High School Frickin' Musical. The movie that force-fed me the most catchiest song I have probably ever heard and had made me play it over and over in my head in gym class.
It's New Year's Eve and we see Troy, the upcoming basketball star, practicing some b-ball because b-ball is life. You ain't gonna get famous without injecting b-ball into your veins. Anyway, he shows up to a New Year's party because his parents made him. And also we have this book nerd who decides to read instead of party. So basically me. Oh man, there's an open mic and it just so happens that these 2 characters that they've been focusing on gets randomly picked. Who could have guessed? And turns out he lied. This guy can sing great, but why does he stretch his mouth so wide? It's like he's only known screamo, and so his mouth defaults to that shape. And so we have the titular meeting between the attractive lead boy and the attractive lead girl.
And now
This is the copyright claim song. This song got copyright claimed because screw me, I guess. Wow, they aren't even trying to foreshadow that they end up together. They're just slamming it into your face. These 2 are gonna be together.
But let's break down how they did this. Because this opening scene is pretty sweet. You start off with both of them being nervous. They're clearly reclusive. They're squishing them into themselves. But as the song continues, they start feeling the flow. They start getting more comfortable. Not only that, they start getting closer to each other very slowly. It's so gradual that honestly, when I first watched the show, back in 2006, I did not catch that. And now that I see it, the actors killed it in this scene. And this is the opening scene, so you know it needs to really hit hard.
Troy.
Gabriella! I guess I better go find my mom and wish her a Happy New Year.
Yeah, me too. I mean, not your mom. My mom.
Smooth, Troy. Is this your first time talking to a girl? Skipping forward a week, it's time to add the high school in High School Musical, and Troy is clearly the popular kid. Jacques sports team captain. Oh my goodness, it's the best character in the whole movie!
Prepare your vans.
Do you remember the night before? Not at all. All I remember is like pink jelly.
Pink jelly? Dude, did you get blackout drunk on Jell-O shots? You're a high schooler. Next time, think before you improvise your lines. So they get into class. The teacher tells them about a school play, confiscates their phones, gives them detention, and then class is over. I am more than willing to forfeit my phone if class is only 5 minutes long. In good Disney Channel fashion, the physical acting is good, but the delivery of the lines are awkward. A lot. Anyway, preppy popular girl
Sharpay Vans
signs up for the musical right in front of them, and oh gosh, Sharpay is super into the jock. That's so surprising, I never would have guessed. That's so original.
Toodles!
You gotta get your head in the game. You gotta get ahead in the game. You gotta get your head in the game.
Troy is torn between b-ball and joining the musical to attract the cute girl he met at the party. What's more important, Troy, b-ball or your dick? True love is what I was going to say. Do you have any idea how weird it is seeing Ashley Tisdale going from the always broke concession girl at the Tipton to the rich prep? First time I watched this show, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Sharpay, feeling like she has competition, finds out how super duper smart Gabriella is, and so she prints out an article about how smart she is, and gets the team leader of the Scholastic Decathlon to beg her to join. But Gabriella doesn't want to be the super smart whiz kid again, because back then being smart made you an outcast.
Funny enough, when I was in school, if you were super smart and not a total jerk, you were actually decently popular. I do not know what's happened in between generations, because a lot of the shows during the 2000s and a little bit of the 2010s were being written by people who grew up in like the 80s. And back then, the 80s, school system, the whole thing was I heard it's even more intense, and that's where we got all those stereotypes. Things are different now. I bet you that probably the reason why people kind of flock to the smart kids is because now there was this massive fear of whether or not you were gonna get into college, and there was still that lie being perpetuated that, oh, if you want a good life, you needed a college education. And then we got screwed over on that. At least that was my experience. I don't know what it's like in school nowadays. I desperately want to talk to a teacher and like gauge how their students think nowadays.
This school is about more than just young men in baggy shorts flinging balls.
Oh, weird. The video froze. They focus a lot on separating the different kinds of students. The smart kids, the preps, the cheerleaders, all of them are separate and talk down about each other, which sounds typical for a high school setting, I'll admit. But if you know the movie, you know it plays a big role into the whole message of the show, because Troy is heavily considering going outside of his comfort zone.
And then what if you want to try something really new, and it's a total disaster and all your friends laugh at you?
Well, then maybe they're not really your friends.
Troy sneaks into the auditions. Honestly, I'm not really sure why, other than maybe just to get close to the taboo and get him in the right place for the story to progress. Oh gosh, Sharpay and Ryan are the only ones signed up for the 2 lead roles. Gosh, I wonder if they bought everyone off to not sign up. And we get another musical number to show off how good of a duet they are. And funny enough, now that I'm older, I actually like this song more than Get Your Head in the Game. Oh no, what's happening to me? Am I into musicals now? No!
If you do the part with that particular song, I imagined it much slower.
If we do the part? I've been in 17 school productions.
17? Again?
Any last minute sign-ups? No? Good? Done.
Send the song to the highest bidder.
I'd like to audition, Miss Darbus.
Time limit means...
So Troy gets roped into auditioning because Gabriella needs someone to audition with her, but Darbus says, sorry, too late, screw you. So they go and help the one pianist girl who literally wrote all the songs.
I mean, it is your show.
It is?
Isn't the composer of a show kind of like the playmaker in basketball?
After buttering her up and then doing an impromptu duet with each other,
You're always right beside me.
Darbus overhears how absolutely angelic their voices are, and boom, they get the lead roles, or, well, they get a callback, or whatever. I'm pretty sure this means they have to, like, duke it out for the lead role now. Oh gosh. Now, the boys know that Troy B-Ball Boy is auditioning for the musical. Let the drama and social ostracizing commence.
Well, if Troy can tell his secret, then I can tell mine.
I bake.
And now they have a whole song about sticking to the status quo and not breaking out of your comfort zone, even though the whole basketball team joins in on a whole song and dance number. So do they really have any room to judge? I mean, is them singing like supposed to be an actual thing that's happening? Because it suddenly becomes a plot hole if... But that aside, we start seeing the primary message and conflict unfold with the exposing of Troy doing literally anything else that's not a sport.
I mean, I guess if everyone does an impromptu song and dance, then that is technically part of the status quo. So maybe they just don't like him in a play? I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how I can make this make sense if this were all in universe. It would make me much happier if singing and dancing was just like a real thing that happened and not just a symptom of it being a musical. I like to imagine that all musicals exist in the same universe, which means if Hamilton existed in the same universe, that would make total sense because they would just be like, oh, this is just history class. We'll just sing and dance about Hamilton like they did back in Hamilton days.
Look at this! That Gabriella girl just dumped her lunch on me! On purpose!
Do you see what's happening here, man? Our team is coming apart because of your singing thing.
Because of his singing? What about literally the whole school's singing? Darbus walking through the boys' locker room is a mood. The boys' locker room is a crucible, I swear.
But I liked it. What?
Troy invited Gabriella to the, I don't know, the school's garden, biology department. How rich is the school? Whatever. They have a heart-to-heart about how Troy is slowly not interested in b-ball, and Gabriella likes how she's not the freaky math girl.
When I was singing with you, I just felt like a girl.
You even looked like one, too.
So you really want to do the callbacks?
Hey, just call me Freaky Callback Boy.
Seriously, how did this show not win an Oscar? What? Excuse you? What is this movie? How did you not see her? We got a clear Romeo and Juliet vibe, except instead of a horrible adaptation that doesn't iterate on the original story, it's a cringy adaptation that does iterate on the original story and adapts it to a modern setting, which is surprisingly difficult to find. And his dad, who is also the coach, grills into Troy, upset at how he's out there singing.
But you're a playmaker, not a singer, right?
Did you ever think maybe I could be both?
One of her crazy diet ideas. Look, I don't attempt to understand the female mind, Troy.
No sexism in my library! So the jocks team up with the nerds to get Gabriella and Troy and split them up. But funny enough, Sharpay thinks that they're working to get them the lead role, and she thinks that they're working to dominate the school's popularity hierarchy, and the thespians are next on the chopping block. That's not really happening, and also this doesn't really like add to the story in any way.
The Thunderclap, 95, led the Wildcats to back-to-back city championships. A legend.
Yes, legends, one and all. That any of these Wildcat legends became legends.
And in a really underhanded tactic, they stream Troy talking about how the singing means nothing and Gabriella is just some girl he knows and effectively breaks her heart in the process without knowing. I know the real villain isn't Sharpay, it's their friends. You can't see me putting quotes over their friends, but it's there. Sad solo song because Gabriella is sad and is having a moment for her character.
Okay, so there's a few frames of thought where you can put into this. Number one, either the basketball team and the decathlon kids are the real jerkwads because they set this whole thing up. Pretty obvious, it's pretty straightforward, pretty sure that's what you're supposed to think. Or number two, Troy is the jerkwad because he did just say that Gabriella doesn't mean anything to him and she's just some girl that he met. And those are his words. So he could also just be the jerkwad. Or number three, the decathlon basketball team kids are still the jerkwads because Troy was peer pressured into saying that, it's not his fault. He'd say anything to get them to shut up. He was under duress. You do a lot of things when you're on. Don't use duress as casually as I did. That is a very strong word that you don't use in these situations. Which one do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Okay, I know schools focus way too much on sports, but oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Holy crap. Bro, that's your backyard? How rich are these people? Oh my goodness. But now that they've broken up Troy and Gabriella, they're too sad to even hang out with their cliques. So they just screwed themselves over in the process. And good, screw you guys.
We had a team meeting about how
We haven't been acting like a team. We just want you to know that we're gonna be there.
Yeah, if singing is something you want to do, we should be boosting you up, not tearing you down.
So they all come clean and tell them how much of a big dookie doo-doo head that they were, and they realize maybe we're awful people. But Gabriella doesn't buy it. Troy goes straight to Gabriella's home and says, hey, I've made a mistake. Can you tell Gabriella? And then he sneaks into their backyard and calls her, and we are quickly getting into stalker territory.
I was sick of my friends writing me about singing with you, so I said things I knew would shut them up. I didn't mean any of it. Turn around.
We are well within stalker territory. Call the cops, Gabriella. Now Troy's head is in the game again, and Gabriella's head is in her game as well. It's almost like a major aspect of a person's performance is their mood. Who would have thought? It's not like there's a massive amount of research backing this up, and now both their heads are in the musical together.
We have to do something.
Sharpay convinces the drama teacher to reschedule the callback on the same day as the basketball game and the decathlon. Now what are they gonna do? Game day, callback day, scholastic decathlon day. Help? What is this movie? Who does this?
G-O-D-R-A-M-A-C-L-U-B! Exclamation point.
You know what I want from you today? What I want is for you to have fun. I know all about the pressure. And probably too much of it has come from me.
This is twice now, where the primary sources of conflict are suddenly realizing, you know what? I'm being a crappy person. Maybe I should just stop. And don't get me wrong, I love it. It's great seeing his friends and his dad self-reflect and try to fix things. But also, this just doesn't happen. I know, it's the beauty of it being a Disney movie. People can just have a change of heart. But it's like, it throws me out of the whole movie. I can get his friends doing that, but his dad? I can get it happening once, but twice? Now this just might be me, since I know this wouldn't happen to me if I was in Troy's position. I'm just saying, feels unrealistic, and I expect nothing but realism from my original Disney direct-to-TV movies. So what they do is they decide to do everything. They do the game, they do the decathlon, and they're somehow going to do the callback. Gabriella proceeds to win the decathlon, and then they hack into the school's network and sabotage the game. I would say that's pretty crazy. I knew a guy in high school who could probably do that. So Troy bolts to the callback. And then the whole basketball team comes and the decathlon team comes and they're here to support them, and it's really adorable. Now they're ready to sing and for their callback in front of everyone, and Gabriella isn't singing. But don't worry, hunky Troy boy is here to make her feel better. And they just ignore the audience, stare into each other's eyes, only focusing on each other, and it gives her the courage to sing with a song that very much sums up their character arc. It's really adorable, and it's just, it's so good. Oh gosh. Troy steals a little peck on the cheek, and then we see a really great transition as Troy gets back to win the basketball game.
I guess I'm going to be the understudy in case you can't make one of the shows, so break a leg.
Wait. Sharpay decides to be nice too? Is this 3 times where people decide to stop being jerks? Where's the realism? Everyone comes together, sets aside all their differences, and it's a big happy ending where everyone gets what they want, learns a good lesson, and grows together. And in classic Disney fashion, we finish the movie with a good old song and dance number where everyone is happy and it feels good and it's all good. Very much a good romance movie for kids. Frankly, this was executed brilliantly. It's corny, but also, I gotta admit that this writing is solid. I think my favorite character was Skater Dude number 2.
These cookies are genius. The best things I've ever tasted.
Yeah, I could ship it. It's a very simple concept if I'm going to be honest. But we did have some twists in there. The twists being his friends and his dad apologizing and realizing that they need to be better people. I wish that happened in real life, but then again, that's how you know it's a Disney movie. High School Musical is a movie that doesn't try to be anything new. All they wanted was to make a movie that would appeal to their audience. It's predictable, but that doesn't mean it's bad. The entertainment value doesn't necessarily come from
the uniqueness of the story. The biggest aspects of entertainment come from the comedy and also the songs, and well, now also when you're older, the cheesiness. It's a movie where when you watch it when you're young, it's just a solid, fun movie for all the typical reasons, and when you watch it when you're older, it's still a fun movie, but also you see a lot of the cheesiness. And that adds a massive amount of the entertainment value. And also you realize, oh my gosh, Zac Efron had that hair. Not just Zac Efron, a lot of people had that hair. What were we thinking? The story isn't unique, but it is good. It meets all the story beats that we want. It's satisfying. It's a happy, feel-good movie, and it doesn't trip over itself when it crosses the finish line. So many movies try so hard to be unique that they forget to make a good story. High School Musical is one of Disney Channel's most surprising successes, especially for a brand new original movie. This movie got 8 million concurrent viewers. This is before streaming, so that's insane. Which, is in the ballpark of how popular Disney Descendants was, because Disney Descendants got about 6.6 million concurrent viewers. However, there was a lot of people who, DVR'd and Disney Descendants, so you could argue that Disney Descendants was more popular because the numbers for rewatching it were way higher. So it really just depends on what metric you use. Probably Disney Descendants is more popular just because as time goes on, it's just easier to spread things and make money. Disney Channel has a tried and true business strategy that is not even unique. They did not think of this. Marvel technically does the same thing, just on a bigger scale of their movies. They make a low budget film with actors that no one's ever heard of, and they put it on a network that gets a lot of attention. They wait for one of them to be a massive success, and they milk it for as much money as it's worth. This movie had 2 sequels. It had books, a couple live performances, and a few foreign film adaptations that were original films for I think Argentina or something, along with the dubbing of the original films. And not only that, but there's also a Disney Plus High School Musical, the series, but it's not set in the universe with Troy Bolton and Gabriella. It's oh, we go to the same high school that they filmed High School Musical in. Oh my gosh, we should make High School Musical our school play this year. And there's such a smart and unique idea. And also it's a documentary and they interview people, but it's not really a documentary, it's a fake documentary. It's all scripted, so if you can squeeze in the jokes in there. And it lasted 3 seasons. It's a weird concept. It's all real, it makes sense when you watch it, but it's weird. And I joked about how the show didn't win an Oscar, even though it clearly deserved to. This movie has more influence on our cultural zeitgeist than most Oscar award-winning films. But I digress. It did win several awards, and I could list the awards that it won, but nobody actually cares. Awards are not for consumers like you and me. Awards are for the people who made the film, and also for the marketing team to put that they won an award on the cover of the movie in order to get us to buy it. The real reason why High School Musical was so influential was largely because the story is just so relatable. It talked about breaking out of your comfort zone and being who you truly are, and it said that specifically to elementary and middle schoolers who really, really needed to hear that, because school is a battlefield. The message is timeless, so long as our school systems continue to be terrible. Not only that, but I wasn't even into musicals when I first watched this movie back in 2006. But the songs were just that catchy, I ended up singing them all the time. There hasn't really ever been a point in history where musicals, or the musical equivalent, has not been popular. Singing is arguably a big aspect of human nature. The only reason we don't do it out in public just casually is because we have this weird thing where we made it a competition to see who's the best, and there's a whole industry around it, and so if you're not good, you feel like you shouldn't because you're not good. But you and I both know that the worst singers sing the loudest in the shower. But also music is a big aspect, it's just integral to storytelling, and storytelling is a massive aspect of human nature. You know that High School Musical is good because we still talk about it today. It has stood the test of time. But that's everything I have for this video. Tell me in the comments below what you felt about this movie. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay beautiful and keep playing.